I was asked a question about super teams, and do super teams follow the same kind of life cycle that traditional teams, traditional hierarchical teams follow? And the answer is no, they don't really. You may have come across Tuckman's model, which is forming, storming, norming, performing, and then adjourning, I think it is. They tend to always follow this life cycle. There is a universal life cycle to things like projects and so on. But the difference with super teams is that you want them acting as high-performing teams from the beginning. You also don't need them to be widgets and stuff, and there's no hierarchy. So what we think of as a storming phase, for instance, you don't really want that. What you want is skills, so that people, a group of individuals, aren't trying to compete with each other. The challenge that you've got in the old world is that people compete, but it's not with super teams. Ideas compete. Everyone else just collaborates. It's a high-performing collaboration. Similarly with this other one, it used to be like work groups, pseudo teams, potential teams, real teams, and then high-performing teams. Well, again, you don't want to have to wait this long before you've got a high-performing team. When you put together a team in the SF world, you've got a team, and it could be different individuals come together, but they can act as a team very quickly. So with super teams, it's something a bit different, really. They follow phases, but you don't have to wait till you get to the end before you get the high performance. What you start off with is creation. It's a creative phase. Here you create the mission and vision and what have you, and also think about what is it that you're creating, what product it is, and you create the team by bringing these individuals that are skilled in various areas that you need. Then the team is competing, but not with itself. Competing for resources, very much like a seed. A business that's just starting off has to compete for finances, has to compete for skills, perhaps maybe learning skills. But very much like a seed, draws in lots of resources. At the early stage of a business or a team doing something, it needs to draw those resources in. The SAS, when it was first formed, had to go and acquire its resources from another camp, the New Zealand camp. So yeah, it's competing for resources and also for clients and that kind of thing. So it's competing with the outside world. It's competing for its place in the universe, not necessarily competing with themselves. And then once you know what you're doing and you've tried it and tested the ideas, proof of concept, but also started winning clients, winning business, as it were, you then go to the coordinating phase where you're just coordinating and you're innovating on what you've done so far. So whereas this is a creative phase, this is an innovation phase and an expansion phase. So establish more certainty around what you're doing. And then it would be the communing phase. This is all going on at the same time, perhaps, but obviously when you're communing and you're becoming really familiar with what you're doing, that does take a bit of time. Being around each other and understanding and building trust, that might take a bit of time. But the actual super team bit, being able to act as a super team, you really want that to happen very quickly, which kind of differs from the old method of, it's taking ages to get the team to work effectively together. That shouldn't happen in a super teams environment where you want individuals who can come together, work effectively. They might have to learn some new skills to facilitate meetings and coaching and that kind of thing. But you don't want to have to wait a long time to get to that stage.